Audience, and here are my note cards. Alright, so child labor has been an issue for centuries. It is a way of, instead of using men to do all these odd jobs of making cars, working in factories, they can do stuff that's useful to the community. Like they can be a lawyer, they can be a doctor, they can be in the army, but this way, instead of using men and using children, you can save these jobs and get men to do something that's useful. For us in the US, it is easy to forget that child labor is a thing because we don't have it here. It's easy to forget that in Africa there are many children who are being forced to work, when here it's something that's seen as cruel and you can be put in jail for it. Being forced to work as a child takes away your childhood and it adds trauma to your life. So instead of playing and having fun, you're being forced to work for the man. You are working in mines, you're working in factories, you're building cars, you're doing pretty much anything that the average man doesn't want to do. And by doing this, you're adding enough trauma to where they are affected so much in life that it's going to be hard for them to function future on. Child labor is really big in countries that are run by poverty because, one, people don't live as long, so older men can't work the jobs. So they have children do it who are physically able, and they have to make money for their family. So if someone gets sick in the family, they need money to pay for they need someone to pay for the medical man, and you need to put food on the table, and so in order to do that, you have the physically able do that, which is usually the children. Child labor first surfaced in the 1700s in England, and it has just grown from there to many other countries. So according to the US Department of Labor, the list of goods produced by child labor or forced labor comprises of 159 goods from 78 countries and areas as of September 28th, 2022. So this is still a very big thing. 28 countries are forcing children to work, and they are producing 159 goods that we may buy every day and think it's made by a man, but instead it's being made by a child. The U.S. Department of Labor regulates labor laws throughout the U.S., and they also keep tabs on other countries. Many mistake like a 13-year-old kid working at McDonald's being child labor because they're really young and they are seen as working way too young. Instead, they are working because they want to, or to put money in the table, or just because they want to work. Or they're working for their family business because it makes their family proud and it's something they wanted to do since they were kids, to work for the family business. From the International Labor Organization, the term child labor is often defined as work that deprives children of their childhood, their potential, and their dignity, and that is harmful to physical and mental development. So in order for it to be considered child labor, it has to be a physical and mental development that they are losing because they are working. And it's depriving children of their childhood. So it's not like, okay, they're working 3 or 4 hours a week just because they can to make some money. Instead, they are working every day 9 to 5 to put food on the table, or because the family thinks that it's the best thing for them to do. According to them, Africa right now is considered the worst country when it comes to child labor. The countries see this as making money and not harming children. So they see this as, okay, they're producing goods for us. They are doing everything that a man can do, but they're younger and they have more energy and they have more stamina. So they see this as more money coming into the country instead of, we are forcing children to work, we're forcing people to work. We're not making these children do this just because we want to. We're making people do this because we need these goods. Africa has the largest number of child laborers. 17.2 million African children are estimated to be in child labor, and 31.5 million are in hazardous work. Progress against child labor appears to have stalled in Africa. Of the remaining children in child labor in Africa, 8.1 million, which is 11% of the children, are found in the services sector, and 2.7 million, which is 4% of the children, are found in industry, and most child labor is unpaid, and this comes from the International Labor Organization. With this many children being forced to work, it is amazing that they are able to stall the progress of ending it as much as they are, like with the World Organization not being able to push this a little further. The fact that the country thinks that it's okay is just proof that they are not thinking of any time soon to change their laws, because they see it as, like earlier, a way of making money. They see this as a good investment. Children should have fun and play with their friends and not be forced to work for the man to make ends meet or just because the country needs more workers. The best way to see this issue as a problem is to just think, what if it was your child working in a factory, working in a mine, building cars, having to be in the army because a man doesn't want to and they think a child would be more capable of doing this? Just think of that in the back of your head.